brightest day,
and blackest night.
no evil shall escape my sight.
Let those who worship evil's might
Beware my
beware my
power,
power.
Green
Green
Lantern's light.
Lantern's light.
We will get better at this next time, people. We said that the first time. We're getting better this time too. So,
We were on the same spot this time though. We did better. I feel like it's better even by a margin.
there we go. So yeah, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank, everybody. So you thought we forgot about you, didn't we? You thought we forgot. In reality, we didn't forget. We were just terrible at getting ready.
It's my fault. I'm a hard worker. It's one of
And
my
it was
many weaknesses.
Yeah, and we also had to find a new recording avenue because we were using Skype for a while, and then Skype went and did a thing. We tried Microsoft Teams, and I don't know what's going on with Teams. It keeps saying there's a record button, but there is no record button. So stop lying, Microsoft Teams. But anyway, here we are talking about Green Lantern Rebirth. After the events of Secret Origin, we saw Geoff Johns effectively sort of streamline Hal Jordan's origin, and we watched he said a bunch of other things in the place. This was primarily because Secret Origin came relatively after he'd already started his Green Lantern run, but we don't care about that. So here we are talking about Green Lantern Rebirth, and as you know, I'm your host, Bucket Think Tank, and here is our guest, the legendary, the infamous guest.
Hey everybody.
So let's really let's sort of talk about how we felt about this book. You go ahead.
It was fun. Now, like I'm about to say, like I said before, it was a little rough going straight into it without knowing some of like the other like context for it and like what because it wasn't a very it wasn't an all encapsulated story like the one that we read last time. So it was me playing a little bit of catch up through most of it, but still a fun story all in all.
Yeah, Geoff Johns was sort of like, look, I'm assuming you all have been reading Green Lantern before, so this story is going to go 100 miles an hour, and if you can't keep up, I don't know what to tell you.
I kept up, Jeff. I promise.
Looking at this, I sort of get why people have said that DC events have sort of like peaked after Blackest Night, because reading this and remembering the time I read Blackest Night, comparing it to events now, the DC universe feels way more solid here. Like everything feels more lived in than it does now.
I must say I don't have much reference to go off of, but just off of the Blackest Night trade paperback, that was just a really fun story.
Yeah.
It was just Power Rangers, but Green Lanterns.
Yeah. Johns has written another Rebirth. He's written Flash Rebirth, and of course there was DC Rebirth. Rebirth is like sort of one of the words that DC has apparently liked to use, along with the word crisis. Marvel has secret.
Everything's a secret, but the Avengers.
Yeah, there was Secret Avengers too.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but they're not so secret anymore.
Yeah. So let's go into it. But real quick, let's go with a bit of history from the events of Secret Origin to now. So when we last left off with Secret Origins, Sinestro said, hey, look, man, next time, you and me, I'll take you to my sector. When that happened, I'm going to paraphrase it here. Hal found out that Sinestro was running his sector like a police state. And the Guardians found out about it. They said, like, dude, you can't do that. You super can't do that. And he's like, well, screw you guys. I'm leaving. And he went to Quard. Well, he was banished to Quard. And he met the weapons of Quard, would help him forge the Yellow Lantern Ring. And then he was captured by the Guardians again and executed. And his soul was transferred to the Essential Power Battery. So that's what Sinestro was at that time. And we'll see exactly what happened to him later. Now, Hal has not been doing so well. If you haven't read Green Lantern Rebirth before and thought it was only sunshine and lollipops after Secret Origins, Strap yourself in, kids. All right.
You mean to
So
tell me it's not a? You mean to tell me it's not a buddy cop comic where Sinestro and Hal are just best buds but don't like each other?
nah, this is like Reed and Doom all over again, except this Reed's getting laid. But anyway, and not married. So Hal kind of had a bit of a boo boo. His home, Coast City, was destroyed by Mongol, along with Cyborg Superman. I don't know why Cyborg Superman just wanted to pick a fight with Hal Jordan, but there we are. Hal goes a bit crazy trying to get it back, trying to get Coast City back using the Green Lantern rings. The Guardian said, "No, you can't do that." Hal said, "Screw you guys, I'm gonna do it," and he goes really dark, kills a bunch of lanterns and Sinestro again, oddly enough, and he becomes Parallax, and then he becomes an enemy of everybody. And it's only until I believe what is it? What is it? All of a sudden I've forgotten. I feel like a hack right now. Uh, I think it was Zero Hour or Final Night where he sacrifices himself to reignite the sun, and that's when he dies, only to be taken by the Specter. How the Green Lantern Corps is doing well over the course of that whole thing. Guy Gardner comes in, John Stewart comes in. After Hal craps the bed and embarrasses everybody, including himself, Kyle Rayner is then drafted in, and he becomes a Green Lantern. And that mostly is where we are, minus a whole bunch of other stuff in other books that we don't have time to get through at this time.
Uh, which is having that context prior to going to this. I mean, I know it would have taken much longer to get there, but I mean, it's still not bad for where I was.
Yeah, yeah. It felt like we could have like a last time on Dragon Ball Z. A whole season happened. I don't know where you guys have been.
Uh, Do you not buy comic books? Come on, man.
so, so instead of going through page by page, we're going to go pretty much chapter by chapter, issue by issue. So first we have the day before, and this is pretty much just Kyle, sort of us figuring out exactly where everybody is, so to speak.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I used to get Kyle and Hal mixed up all the time before actually knowing a bit more about Green Lanterns. I was just like, oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, yeah, I know that's Hal. Then just being immediately corrected. I was like, okay, now I get it. All right, so we like Hal. We don't like Kyle as much.
Yeah, Kyle has his fans. He's If you had to compare him to anything, he would be equivalent to Tim Drake in the fact that DC doesn't know really what to do with Kyle. Like he hasn't carried his own book since what was it, New Guardians, and that book sort of floundered a bit. Even I haven't had time to revisit that one. But here he's sort of like taking place. He's sort of starting this story in a lot of ways. Like he knows sort of what's really going on, and then of course we go to Hal at an air show, and we find out, if you didn't know, like me not knowing this happened. Yeah, Hal works for Parallax right now. Hal is the current host of Parallax.
Which I would say I do kind of like the whole theme around Parallax.
Yeah, this whole, like, he's a spirit of God's vengeance given not really human form, but more like a direct prerogative. Like the primary directive of the Spectre is to be vengeance.
Yeah.
And it's also good to know because, like, even in this sort of battle he has with the Spectre, all of a sudden you see, like, Hal fighting a version of himself that says, like, hey, you're us, you're one of us, you are Parallax. And it is sort of showing that, even though Hal made this big sacrifice to, reignite the sun, he is still effectively being punished.
Now, watching once again the art from this comic is just phenomenal, yo. But just like Kyle showing up and everything, Very reminiscent to me from Origins, with the whole crash landing. It almost seems like no Green Lantern really shows up on Earth with good news.
Yeah, and it's also fun because you sort of get the understanding that why Hal is such a special lantern is like he's the only lantern that knows how to fly an actual plane. Everyone else just keeps crashing.
I'd go to say that, but I mean, you we have these rings that give us flight. You'd think we'd be better at it.
Yeah,
I do like that we get some looks at the other Green Lanterns though. Well, so we had John and Guy popping up in the first issue.
yeah,
John, I
yeah,
will say,
yeah, and
but
it should be worth noting that I totally forgot. Guy is no longer Green Lantern right now. He is what is called a warrior, and he's got Voldarian powers, which sort of relates with his genetics, and it's weird. It's sort of showing you how much like the DC universe has sort of changed a bit. You know, John is primarily the Green Lantern of the Justice League now. For a while it was Kyle, but Guy's not even a lantern anymore. Hal's dead, and even as sort of like who he is, who Hal is now, showing up, he's still sort of bound by the Specter, who just sort of makes people confess what they're doing. One is like, I'm a sinner. I'm embezzling money from my office, doing it for years. I lied to my wife. I committed adultery. Even guys like, I cheated on my taxes.
I do kind of like the whole look of it. A bit of a, or I guess, I don't know. I don't know how much of a deep grab it is, but if y'all ever watched Ultra Force, he does kind of look like Prime. He does kind of look like Prime from that.
Mm.
Um, but I say he's all jacked out of his mind for no reason with some tattoos.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that's who Guy likes to think he is. Like this like really intense, badass looking dude. Like, no, that's not you, Guy. That's not you.
Hmm.
Um, and all of this is really just sort of set up everything, get us to look and see exactly where the DC universe is for the most part. Like Hal is trying to make the best of his new reality. John is like, still trying to keep some semblance of normalcy. Guy thinks everything is fine. Carol is being Carol. But then the story kicks in with Black Hand coming for Hal Jordan's old ring.
And we get to see Ollie. How about I say Ollie just out there, living his best life by 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 making things difficult.
Yeah, and of course, Black Hand is here. He all of a sudden sort of thought, like, you know what? I've been trying to sap power from a Green Lantern ring. Why didn't I just take one?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, we saw how well that was going to work out for him.
Oh yeah, he's still trying to like rob a superhero. Uh,
Dang, I had forgotten how graphic my man lost his hand. I forgot about that.
yeah, Hal Jordan coming in as a Specter. The Specter must deliver vengeance. It just calls William Hand out. You let your jealousy of your family's own success rot your soul. You've stolen that which is not yours countless times. You've attempted to murder friends I care about, all in the name of gaining recognition for a family that doesn't love you. I'm like, Jesus. And also, I'm taking your hand. After taking Black Hand's hand, it is sort of, which I really hate saying. I really hate saying take Black Hand's hand. It's just it's irritating to say.
You're robbing him of his identity if you do that. You understand this, right?
Look, Hal's like, look, you got to learn. But actually, it's a combination of I'm guessing the Specter and who will later find out to be the real problem here. But Hal's like, this isn't me. I gotta go because he can't focus. It's sort of like a battle between him and what the Specter wants to do. Then we cut to, of course, the scene with Hal and John at Guy's bar with the Warriors, and I do like that even in his own bar, in his own humble way, every other lantern there, whether it be Hal or Kyle or Kilowog, is put in a nice little jar. But Guy's statue is right there, all proud, even like raising his knee a la Captain Morgan style.
I mean, it's Guy Gardner. It's about to say, you think you can't put him in a box, yo? He's
Even
got
I
about
don't put me in a box.
I'm about to say, yeah.
In the Warriors bar, I think what really works is John and of course John and Guy's discussion about pretty much how they felt about Hal. Um, John mentioning that Hal died, saving the planet, reigniting the sun, and how it kind of sucks that his soul is trapped inside the Specter. You know, it's not really a step forward. And even Guy points out, yeah, look, Hal was annoying, and maybe I was a bit jealous, but I knew at the end of the day, Hal always had my back. If I had a problem, Hal Jordan would be there. He'd also steal the best looking girl there, but he had my back.
Yeah, I mean, whatchamacallit, like, yeah, it's like a John. I mean, John literally said it's like it seems like it's a darker place without him, yo.
Yeah. And that is also, I think, a great way to sort of talk about the state of the DC universe, which later became a big issue. People felt like the DC universe was getting like unnecessarily dark. We had stories like Identity Crisis, for example, which people still do not entirely appreciate for some of the choices it made. But Guy's body then starts acting up, like really acting up, and it causes an explosion. And even weirder, Coast City is apparently back.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, um, God, it's so ugly, yo. Well, say, like, about to say, I'm just following along again, and yeah, we're back.
um, but as they look at Guy's body, realize what's going on here, like his body is rejecting itself. Um, the question comes up now, and I think this is a great creative choice. Is Batman constantly in the shadows? Talk about, like, okay, so somehow in that explosion, the only thing that survived was a statue of Hal Jordan. Oh, okay. I'm sure that's not weird at all.
Just out there pointing at it. What is this made out of? Does anybody want to point this out? Anybody? Nobody? Nobody wants to point it
And
out?
and then, when they go through the return coast, it's like, well, none of the buildings are here. The only building that's there is, Hal's apartment. And Batman's like, really, really, really. So am I gonna be the one that has to say it? That maybe we couldn't trust Hal? And Batman is like in this whole shadow the whole time. And it's like, if you didn't know him, you'd swear he was not the good guy here.
He scouted the room beforehand, and he was like, "I'm gonna stand in that spot the whole time. Everybody, you can see everybody else. I'm gonna stand here." But you
Now,
know how much John hates a skeptic anyway, so
yeah, this scene I think works to an extent. Batman will not forgive. All right, it takes a lot for you to earn his trust back once you've lost it. And Hal was parallax for a bit. He did a lot of messed up stuff, and he's like, I don't think Hal Jordan ever changed, John. He always had an ego. He never worried when things came crashing down. He never prepared. He just flew in, damn the consequences. We should have known back then a man like him couldn't be trusted. A man like him and Jeff, like, hold on now. Hold on.
what you're
Let's
not
turn some
gonna
light
do.
on here.
I'm about to say, step into the light, my friend.
All right. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this disrespect Batman just slings. Like, you've always had a thing against him, haven't you? And I finally see why. How's the one person in this world that didn't buy what you're selling? How was a man without fear? And what is the Batman when you're not afraid of him? Just a man.
I mean, very reminiscent to a certain, Avengers conversation we had. Billionaire playboy philanthropist.
Like, you know, you know, John, you take that ring off and let's see what happens. Let's see what happens, man. Pull up, pull up. Also, New 52, also written by Geoff Johns, will have it so Batman can just like slide Green Lantern's rings off. So I don't know how Jeff feels about Batman and Green Lantern together. I don't. I don't.
I mean, Yeah.
But anyway, Ollie comes in like, okay, look, as great as this pissing contest is, I've got some bad news for the pro Hal team. Hal came in and he cut off some dude's hand. We won't go into details of who that hand was. And he seemed a bit out of it. And I don't think we should need someone who is like the host for God's Vengeance to be out of it.
But it's okay because the main takeaway from this first issue is Hal is back and everything's gonna be okay.
Just ask Carol.
Yeah, everything's gonna be fine.
So then we cut to Oa, where apparently like a beam of green light comes out. And it's really just Ganthet. I guess it's Ganthet. As what's interesting about this other issue is like, as Kyle lays unconscious and bleeding out, he's like, my instinct tells me that actually I should probably, put a sling for this shoulder and suture this wound back up. But I can't do that. That would be bad. For some reason he can't use his ring, but we keep hearing the same thing. Parallax. Parallax is coming.
Yeah. And, once again, I just think that Parallax, like he's the big bad. Like I just love it so much, and his design's really cool.
Yeah. And so they're at Fair. When Carol goes down to Ferris Air, and it's raining, and Hal shows up. Like, it's good to see you, Carol. And Hal looks like nothing has changed. Like, yeah, man, I'm here. Wear my old flight jacket. Let's talk about the day my dad died, Carol.
It's the perfect weather for it.
I need to find my way back, Carol. This isn't me. I don't know who I am anymore. Everything I've done these last few years, I'm not proud of it, Carol. I hate it, but something happened. It goes beyond this nonsense with the Specter. Something's been clouding my judgment, making me doubt the world and myself, making me afraid of my own actions, my own willpower. That's my thing, Carol. I can't be afraid of my thing.
But there's nothing left to be afraid of anymore.
And as Carol hugs Hal, also mentions that, I'm married, Hal. I'm married. Hug me.
Platonically.
But really close. Hug me closely, platonically. You're so cold, Hal. Well, it's also raining, Carol, but you're still cold. And this is interrupted by the Justice League. And of course, Batman takes point because he's like, you know what? Hal, you just keep messing. Like, God's vengeance and you're still home wrecking. All right, what is this?
But I mean, we still get to see my girl Zatanna, though.
Zatanna back in the Specter. This is nice. Also, it's a small detail, but if you look at Aquaman, his hand is made of water.
What?
Yes, so he did lose his actual hand for a good while in the comics, and they sort of rolled with it. It's like, we have no reason to bring that hand back. Yeah, give him a hand made out of water.
I did not catch that. Yeah, that's a very small detail. Yeah, I did not catch that last time.
To be fair, Aquaman does not carry this story at all. He is just allowed to be here.
We could have just go with regular hook hand.
No, you got to draw that, and this regular hand that just has to look like water is much easier to draw for everybody. And we're trying to like make Hal not feel like he's being under interrogation as Batman leads the conversation.
I mean, any conversation with Batman's an interrogation.
Yeah, it's funny because like Wally goes like, "What did you do to him, Hal? What did you do to Coast City?" Like, I fixed this. I fixed this airfield for Carol, Wally.
It's right.
That's all I did today. And like, back to fixing things, Jordan. And you're like, Batman, shut up.
Well, so there's a lot of people who'll be angry if you keep this up, Bruce. Calm it down.
John flies up and just starts firing his ring at people. Even Superman's like, look, John, what are you doing? Like, you gotta stop this. Like, no, man, I'm tired of all this. I'm gonna start shooting everybody with my ring. All right. Superman's down, and the Spectre, like, it's time I said something. We are the Spectre.
All right,
guys, you can't stop this. Vengeance calls. The Spectre's in it elsewhere. Like, no, we can't. We gotta go here.
Guys, I
It,
just wanted to let y'all know Parallax is coming. That oh, gee, Hal. Wonder why Parallax is coming.
we had a scene of like back at the Watchtower where Guy's body seems to be like fixing itself, but then Hal's ring duplicates itself and goes onto Guy's hand, and he's back in his regular suit, which is it's grown on me. It's grown on me over the years. Um,
I I feel like it's the tucked in vest for me that gets me sometimes.
yeah, and I think he's wearing a turtleneck. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't mind that as much because that's almost villainesque, but it's the tucked in part.
And then through that, Kilowog makes landfall in front of Kyle, and Kyle explains like, okay, so Kilowog is a friend. At least he used to be. He was the strongest member of the Green Lantern Corps, one of them. He put rookies through hell and back. He trained Hal Jordan, and Kilowog's like, use the ring, Kyle. He's like, I don't want to do it. I didn't ask. I said use it.
It's a it's okay, good old space coffins.
Knocks the coffin up, and Ganthet just like, look, the body of Hal Jordan is under the Guardian's protection. I'm like, what is this? The casket of what? Of Mary Magdalene? What's going on here, man? Is this
All you need to know is it's under protection.
like something's going on here, man? And then we sort of get the impression that something's happening to everyone that actually uses their ring, because Kilowog is looking feral. All right.
Still one of the coolest panels out of the whole fucking series, yo.
Oh,
Or
it's
the
just
whole run.
like the breath of air exits from his nostrils. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, it's great. He's fighting, but the problem is Kilowog's trying to fight Ganthet, and yeah, it's just
It's not gonna. It doesn't work out. How about say I give Kilowog, a lot of respect, but Ganthet is not a poozer, yo. It's not gonna work.
so when Kyle tries to use his ring, he gets like this sort of thing is like pulling at his mind. He's like, okay, all right, so what's going on here? Something in the ring is messing with the people who use it. I'm like, okay, 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 we know who it is. It's old Parallax, and
I mean, I did like that they kind of gave us a bit more origin on Parallax this issue.
yeah, it's I think a really important thing to do, especially because like everything, like a big part of Green Lantern Rebirth is sort of the redemption of Hal Jordan through Geoff Johns. Like, hey, look, they drag Hal through the dirt here, and I don't think he did that. I don't think he would have done all that. So after Hal flies off to his apartment and finds his lantern, uh, as Kyle also goes to the watchtower to figure out who's alive here with Hal's body. We get a look at exactly the battle between Hal and the Specter and Parallax, and this has been something we've seen throughout the whole comic, is that it's actually three of them, and Kyle sort of explains exactly what is going on. We get the origin of Parallax, and I think it was a good idea by Geoff Johns. Like, well, no. Like, Hal didn't just pull that name out of the ether. All right, that's not how this works. Parallax is a thing.
I'm about to say a living entity of fear.
That the Guardians, they took it down. They put him in a coma, and they sealed him in the central power battery. And we thought
Because
all was
that's
good.
where we have to put things. We put things in the central power battery because it works.
Yeah. Also, it saves space. Like you got a whole planet of people. You can't just put everything everywhere. All right.
Because it makes me feel we didn't win against Parallax. We just bought time.
And so like a billion years later, which to be fair to the Guardians, a billion years is a
Can't
good amount of
account
time to
for it.
think you got this.
He hasn't. You check the power battery day. Nothing. Oh yeah, it's only day 1,030,000. Two or whatever. He hasn't done nothing in there. I think we're good.
Look, by year 999 million, we thought we were good to go. All right. So we didn't send somebody to check. All right. We thought we were
That's
good.
that's on us. We're sorry.
So apparently he got out and like he found Hal Jordan. All right. So he took hold. That's when Hal went gray for a bit. And of course, in Hal's ego, he's a little concerned that he's gray, but he doesn't find it weird that he's gone perfectly gray. Like a perfectly even streak on both sides of his head are gray.
You mean the Reed Richards, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Like at some point, there needs to be a crossover where Hal and Reed just sort of like switch lives unintentionally, and no one notices because of the hair.
But I did like how it gave us more like context to why the Green Lantern rings have the yellow impurity.
Yeah, and it also serves the idea that like, look, Hal, what happened to Hal was in part not his fault. Yeah, he went through a very terrible moment, and Parallax used that to latch on, and that's what led to his spiral. So yeah, Hal screwed up, but 99% of that screw up is Parallax.
Yeah, I mean, Hal could only do what he could do.
Yeah, and then we sort of get the reveal that the reason the Specter took Hal was like, look, dude, I am trying to keep you from something way worse. All right. All right. You remember how early on in the Yu-Gi-Oh anime, the first one, people weren't sure if you could trust the Spirit of the Millennium Puzzle. All right. And yeah, it turns out, yeah, Parallax is evil Bakura. All right. And I am coming in to save you from evil Bakura. All right. That's all I've been doing.
You know, I as much as I hate it, it does fit. Don't listen to the puzzle, Hal.
This one's crazy. And it's actually where it gets really creepy, like watching them separate. Especially when like Parallax lives and he's holding he pulls Hal off like skin. It's like, oh my god. Like, oh, this is brilliant. It's like, yeah, you like Hal is not a monster. That is.
But DC isn't dark. This is just clever, like analogy, or you know, a clever metaphor.
And as Kyle and Ollie think, like, you know what? This is messed up, and I'm sure it couldn't get worse than this. Lo and behold, Sinestro shows up. Big forehead era Sinestro.
Which it was even more of or less of a surprise to me because last time I left Sinestro, we left on good standings, and then then everything in between happened.
This is
And
like
we're
watching Naruto. This is like watching Naruto after just the Wave Country mission, and by the time you get back in, you're in Shippuden.
Okay, so Sasuke's gone. I what?
What's an Orochimaru?
Akatsuki?
Oh, that was a hard thing to pronounce before. I'm so glad they said it because I had no idea how to pronounce it the first time.
But yeah, Sinestro's back and he's in purple now. Which that is a choice. It's a color scheme.
And I do like how Kyle mentions that, Guy will make fun of every one of Hal's rogues except Sinestro. He doesn't talk about Sinestro.
But I mean, we do get Sinestro in true Sinestro fashion, though, straight up talking shit to Kyle.
Yeah, and he's pretty much saying like, yeah, I was the one that sent Sinestro, that sent Parallax to Jordan. Like I knew he was the best choice. And like, but at the end of it all, this is sort of like more exposition to figure out exactly how all of this came to be, how the dominoes sort of like fell into place. That how much of a like did Hal have any real hope? I don't
change
know.
of altering the future,
Yeah, like what was going to happen?
Um, uh, I mean, it did kind of seem like it was very chess versus checkers here, and I don't think he had a way out of it.
I don't think it helps that Hal had no idea. Like none of them had any idea what was going on. Even Ganthet seemed to imply that the Specter took my memories, and Specter like, don't lie to me. Don't let you've forgotten nothing. This was all part of your plan because without chaos, without evil in the universe, the Guardians have no reason to exist.
Exactly. Like, but once again, I feel like our main issue here is our guardians are taking our guardians are taking things and putting them in the battery and forgetting about them.
We thought Gary was gonna check, all right, and apparently Gary didn't check. All right.
Yeah.
It's always some dude named Gary. And then of course, John and Guy come in, eyes blazing yellow, trying to think they can step up to Ganthet, like because they're being affected by parallax too.
Yeah. What you may call it? Now I did I will say that I feel anybody else besides Ganthet, I feel like John and Guy would have a decent chance against. But even a little, hazy eyed, I'd feel that they no, this wasn't the option.
Yeah. Luckily, Ganthet is able to free them. Like, hey guys, guys, you don't want this, so I'm gonna free you. And they're like,
Mhm.
yeah, we're all set. The four of us can take parallax. We're like, no, you can't. Well, no. I meant the four of them. These four
Yeah,
different like teams
the-
of people and Cyborg. I don't know why. It's a great picture, but I think people point out like, what is Batman thinking to do to Parallax? What is Cyborg and Wildcat gonna do to Parallax?
I know that. I mean, just from that panel alone, they had at least 6 issues on their team. But I mean, you got we brought in everybody. We got Beast Boy. We got looks like that's Wally. We had the All Stars here. We could have made something happen, but the main whole problem back there is Doctor Fate.
It's like Dr. Fate, Stargirl, Cassie Sandsmark, Superboy. Oh, Superboy is alive. I now have totally solidified where we are. Hawk Girl, Hawkman is oh our man. Oh, our man's here. Okay, great. Our man's pretty sure this fight's only gonna last an hour. Okay, that's great. That's great, mate. Um,
I'm assuming
anyway,
his. I'm about to say, I haven't heard of him.
yeah. So Rex Tyler, he gets his power from a pill that gives him super strength for an hour. He's not the first Hour Man. I believe he's the second. He's primarily in the JSA where a bunch of legacy heroes go. He's possibly one of the. I think to me his best superpower, for me as a reader, was that he was a happily married man in the JSA. Like if you read Geoff Johns' JSA run, there are moments where it's just him and his wife just hanging out, flirting. There's a scene where they're like on a fire truck riding and they're just like cuddling on the way to like deal with this huge fire. I'm like, this is what I like to know that these people have lives.
I'd be like, yeah, we got to save the world at 8 tonight, but we could just have a nice dinner around 6.
um,
Now, I did like that, even though it was short lived, they did put some respect on Kyle's name for a little bit. He was holding his own against Sinestro, but that was short lived because
yeah,
it's Sinestro.
yeah. And then Ollie comes in like, it's gonna take me a minute. I like that he couldn't remember the oath. Like in brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall. What is the rest of it? Something about sodas.
uh, um, uh, is it AA batteries? I don't know that. Let's figure this out.
I'm Green Arrow. I don't have an oath. All right.
And blackest arrows. We'll
And
yeah,
he,
we'll
he
do it.
does fire off an arrow with a Green Lantern ring, which was really cool. Um,
I'm about to say it was, but just because of the way it was drawn, I was like, I don't think that's gonna do anything without a quiver or anything. And lo and behold, it pierced. I guess it had enough forward velocity.
went through and through too.
Yeah.
So the reason I like that scene is because Ollie mentions like how draining it is just to make a simple arrow. And Kyle's like, yeah, that's how it feels. That is how it feels. I think Kyle in part was like telling the truth, but he was also just trying to make Ollie feel better. Like, yeah, make an arrow, yeah, that takes a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, man. You like when I make a machine gun, super drains me, but like,
So then we see like this fight with the Justice League, the JSA, the Teen Titans. They are not gaining much ground against Parallax. It's like, yeah, if we just do this, we do. It's not doing it, man. It's not doing it.
I mean, we need backup.
Yeah,
We are the backup.
John is able to fill everybody in for the most part. That hey, look, um, that isn't Hal. Let's just clear that out of the way here. All right, that is Parallax, and Ganthet comes in like, okay, look. So as much as we'd like to help Hal here, he's got to do this part himself, and it's actually a really intense scene here. Uh,
Yeah, about to say we're calling for the Specter, yo.
and it almost looks like so has Hal sort of like rips himself out of Parallax. Um, like, damn it, Spectre, fight! You want to help me? Fight!
This is the time. Like you were taking forever.
All Spectre goes like, only vengeance. Like, oh my god, it's like so like he's able to free himself. All right, free his soul from the Spectre and Parallax, and it's like, okay, I'm out. I'm out. And everyone's like, all right, so Spectre, you gonna help right now, man. I'm done here. I put in my time. This was stressful. I got stuff to do as God's vengeance. Peace be with you. And he leaves.
Yeah. Now, I do like how it kind of goes ahead, and we I just it's such a whiplash, bro. Like just from where I came from in Origins, because now we have uh whatchamacallit, now we have Sinestro going against Hal.
So Hal's spirit is allowed to be free. Like, oh, I can go to the light. He's like, yeah, the Parallax took Ganthet's body over. I can go to the light. I can
Well, say, yeah, I'm done.
Gant's like, follow my light. How'd you like, oh damn it. All right, okay. All right, there it is. And it's a really cool scene, to be fair, as you know, Hal's body goes back, Hal's spirit goes back to his body. All the ring leaves Ollie's hand, and the Sinestro watch it go like, what is that? What is
Now, would it not have been cool to see him snatch that ring up the air?
Yeah, he loses the gray, which I think is fun. He points out that his body aches, but his soul is feeling great. He feels like he can finally think clearly, and like, you know, he's got no more fear, but a whole lot of will to fight, will to stand, will to live. And he goes, Sinestro, get the hell away from them. And round, I guess, what, 3? But for these two,
Yeah, but I was saying earlier, the whiplash of it though is they were buddies, and now they're not buddies. Yo.
what's in Orochimaru?
Oh, I'm telling you, and that's why we
Um,
get to see Sinestro skip Hal like a rock, yo.
yeah, and Sinestro coming in like a tiger. I loved it. I loved it.
Mhm.
And Hal's like, this is great, man. Let's go. Let's go. I
I
got a
mean,
lot of aggression to work out here.
you ever had something take over your body? Oh.
Sinestro, like, you took your oath too seriously and you abandoned it, Sinestro. I'm like, oh, I love the phrase like Hal goes, and I strap in. I'm like, oh no.
And you are a slave to yours.
It's a great fight. You want revenge against me and the Corps. You don't know justice. You want vengeance. But you did. You were vengeance, pure vengeance, and you are a murderer. I made you a murderer, Hal Jordan. And Hal thinks about, he was once my best friend.
Hey, I mean, and then we get to some stuff that I actually knew. This is the Sinestro that I knew, the one that was sane.
Oh, They fight on, I'm guessing that's Saturn's rings, which I think it's always a bit depressing when you find out those actually aren't rings.
Yeah, just lots of meteoric debris,
Yep.
and I hear diamonds. I think.
It's not oil, so we won't find out. Um, Sinestro's also pointing out that he's contact Parallax. He influences Parallax. This is something that we'll find out much later on. The relationship between Sinestro and Parallax is sort of tenuous at best, despite Sinestro, like, later creating the Yellow Lantern Corps and everything. Parallax seems almost distant from Sinestro.
Yeah, I'm about to say I would say I'm not familiar with their relationship. I just kind of figured that Parallax was, since it was, or what I took away from it throughout it was since Parallax was like the living entity of fear and everything. That it was kind of like the Yellow Lanterns, for lack of a better word, like Scion. Like it's what powers their ring, like Oa powder, or the central power battery on Oa, powers the Green Lantern. So that's kind of what I took away from it.
Yeah, so there'll be more into exactly what those entities do, primarily when we get to Sinestro Corps War, uh, which is where everything just goes wild and fun. But
Yep. So this
but
wasn't where everything went wild and fun.
this is where everything gets about, like, look, Hal Jordan didn't really do nothing except that whole Arisia thing. But there's nothing to do to fix that. But anyway, Kyle comes in, lights up Sinestro's back for Green Arrow.
But Ollie says hello.
And Sinestro sort of like goes like, Jordan, welcome back. And no one feels they should be concerned about Sinestro being so cool about being destroyed.
Because he's gone. The villain is gone. We've saved the day. That's why we can do this congratulatory handshake.
Al and Kyle finally meeting for the first time, which is, like, well, properly, because I know they met when he was Parallax, or i.e. possessed by Parallax. So this is their first actual meeting.
This is a work meeting.
Yeah. So you're my replacement. And meanwhile, like, oh, isn't there something going on? Like Coasty, like, oh yeah, the other plot. Let's go. I'm sure it's fine. Oh no. Ganth, it looks like a raid boss. Okay.
I mean, he was already a raid boss. Now he just has the look. He's not our
now,
cute little Smurf anymore.
now it's height proportionate to a raid boss.
Mm-hmm. But it's okay. This time we got Hal. All right. Yeah, we got. So we're already doing good. Nobody's gonna make anything more difficult than it needs to be.
Oh wait, Batman's here.
Oh.
I love Batman. Like, look, I don't know what's going on here. All I know is you came back and all this is going on. I'm like, to be fair, from Batman's perspective, there is some truth here, but I don't know what Batman thought he was going to do with that grappling hook.
With the rest of the lanterns around, like I get you had your backup, and I know you have your contingencies. What was your contention or contingency for that right hook? Would you want to tell me what happened here?
What's funny is if you look at the screen, if you look at like the image of when Batman first has his hand in the grappling hook, you can see Aquaman raising his water fist up. It's like, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get him. Poor Aquaman.
I can water fist.
His water fist, yo. I didn't even catch that.
Because it's like important but not important. Because again, Aquaman is just happy to be here.
Yeah. Oh, and I think you explained to me regarding this one. I think Alan Scott, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but say because you said that he's like the Green Lantern, but not a Green Lantern.
Yes. So where other Green Lanterns get their power from the central power battery and the power of will, he gets his from the first attempt at an energy source called the Starheart. It is effectively a magical star with malevolent powers. The downside of his is that it's weak against wood.
That's
it means poison ivy runs unchecked whenever he's there.
Well, dang. I thought
small things gone rogue. Alan Scott, I can't help you.
Oh, man, really wish I could do something. I can get a weed whacker. To, I'm strong.
But Alan does sort of let everybody know, like, hey, look, guys. I know Hal just knocked Batman straight down. All right, something Guy Gardner could never do because Guy Gardner's never escaping that punch. But see this wall of green flame? That's me telling you guys politely to stand down and let the Green Lanterns deal with this problem they've created.
First off, it gives me great hope that he had as much faith in them. He's like, all right, we got the all star here. I mean, we got John, we got Kilowog, we got Hal, we got Kyle, we got Guy. That's enough to handle majority of this are these issues.
Yeah,
But then again, this is Ganthet.
Ganthet possessed by Parallax.
So best of luck, guys.
And of course, I like John. So we got a plan. Like I will have a plan by the time we get there. This is why Batman doesn't like you, Hal. All right,
We'll figure it out.
like, do
I'm
we trust each other?
improvising.
I like the Ganthet. Like Parallax goes, "I'll spit on your souls." I'm like, first of all, rude.
But I know you can hear it, like when he says it, like he sounds like he's super guttural and echoed. And how about you, Kilowog's just like poozer, yo.
And then we get to my favorite part of this whole book is when Hal breaks down how each lantern fights with their ring, because you wouldn't think it had to be that different because it's a ring, you do a thing.
But it really showed how it kind of boils down to that person's personality. Like using Kyle as the example that, he is sketching in his head while he's, doing all his stuff.
Yeah. Or like John, who, he builds his construct from the inside out. If you look close, you can see every nut and bolt that makes it work. I'm like, that is actually really cool.
But we know the real star of this. Kilowog's ring makes a sound.
And as Hal points out, it's the only ring that does that.
Like that's because once again, like, all you're having, like, like the animated, experience. I've always kind of thought they were like whoomp, 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 something like that. But if anytime a construct came out and it sounded like a cannon, that would be a problem for me.
And like guys, like he's just so ready to go. Like he can't even sit still. So his constructs, it's just like this huge stream of energy. And how it goes, like, it's about precision, doing exactly what I need to do to get the job done. Concentrated power, focused ambition. He sounds so boring, but I get it.
But that's why we get our nice little Power Rangers Unibeam panel, just to show that we are all Green Lantern.
But Kilowog's is still the biggest.
As it should be. And we got my current wallpaper with the oath.
Oh, I love it. I love it, especially because like they all look so focused but also calm at the same time.
And like it also plays to everything that Hal was just talking about, because we can see how guys just ready to go. We got John building. It was just such a really nice homage.
Yeah, it really was. Loved it. And I will not be in prison again, not by you. And like to be fair, if I was in prison for a billion years, I'm not leaving this easily. All right, I'm not.
No,
And
I mean, because what you gonna do? Imprison me for another billion years while pulling out all the stops?
yeah, everyone starts falling down. Guy burns from the inside out, like he didn't already do that earlier. John goes blind. Kyle deaf. Even Kilowog falls.
And speaking of the Power Rangers, it is time. It's funny because they do kind of remind me. I don't remember the name of the alien race in the Mighty Morphin series.
Ugh. And it's like, no, guys, come on, we got to hold the line. We got to hold the line. Rangers forever. Stand together. And they fired off one good time. And then apparently the other guard is like, guys, it's time we did something. I was like, you've been there the whole time? I thought we
Wait,
just ended it.
wait, we weren't doing something? We should have been doing something.
Like, we could have fixed this, like, this whole story could have been solved 3 hours earlier. You know this, right?
Yeah, did y'all turn off the off switch? There's a break in case of parallax box that has the off switch.
So when we built that switch, we were taller, and over the billion years, we shrunk, and none of us can reach it.
You know what? Valid.
So they're all down. Parallax is put away, back into the central power battery, because that totally worked.
Because it worked. We got another
to be
billion
fair,
years before someone else's problem.
hey, that was one of the best lines ever in The Simpsons. That's future Homer's problem. I don't envy that guy.
Hey, I use that almost on a weekly basis. But
So,
now the day is saved and no one else is here to make things more complicated.
but as if you've lit a signal, Batman shows up. And Batman's like, do you expect me to believe this? That you were influenced, possessed? Is that what Parallax was? An outside force? I'm like, to be fair, if you had been reading, if you remember what Hal did, and then to be told, like, oh, actually, I know that happened like a decade ago, but we've decided that that wasn't Hal. Sure, I can get that. It's sort of like a bit of fourth wall breaking from a reader's perspective. Like, no, I'm not. But Hal, like, look, I don't expect you to believe anything, and I don't care. This is the new status quo.
Yeah, but I mean, you could also kind of side with Batman on this one just a little bit, because after everything, I'd be skeptical because I'm like, who's to say that this doesn't happen again?
Well, well, there'll be the wonderful world of Batman's contingency plan, so we're good to go.
Because Batman never has to worry about being possessed by something.
Oh, well, to be fair, the only thing that possesses Batman is another Batman.
Yeah, and we saw how well that worked out.
Hey,
If only
you're right.
somebody would just, I'm just saying, if only somebody would make like a fail safe or something about that.
So after an intense stare down, where John, like, is that a problem? Like, not right now, John. It is what it is. I suppose the universe needs a little more light anyway, as he walks further into the shadows.
The universe needs it, not him.
And so it was like, okay, I guess we're good. We go to Louisiana. Belle Reve. Hector Hammond is like, guys, I knew it. I knew Hal would come back. He's my hero.
Hate his head, yo.
Hal and Hal and Carol, dear God. They're talking. Carol's still married for as long as it needs to be for her to still be married.
I mean, as if it would really matter with her and Hal. Hal looks like he could break up a relationship.
Yeah, probably. Hal goes to pick up his lantern from Ollie. Like, Ollie points out he still can't remember that oath, and Hal goes, "I'll never forget it." And that's how the comic ends. Oh, what? Hold on. Yeah, it is. That's Secret Origin.
Wait, nope, it does.
So, Green Lantern Rebirth. If you had to really find a way to change the status quo and bring a character who'd been dead a long time, had pretty much been destroyed as a character, ignoring the whole Arisia thing, I think this is a great way to sort of try to fix it.
Well, I mean, I guess reading the in-between material, because one, I didn't know he was dead, so that was a surprise to me. Once again, who was it, Orochimaru? Um, I was able to kind of like piece together what had happened throughout the other ones, do a little bit of like my own research on it, and of course, I did have like your expertise on it. Um, but yeah, for like what it was, I felt like I definitely came in at the conclusion and the start of something.
Right, right. I know some people really sort of use this as sort of like an anti-Batman thing, but I get it. Batman is sort of used to sort of represent the fans in this case. Well, a group of fans in this case. As a matter of fact, a lot of this book, a lot of the characters sort of are stand-in for the fans.
Well, yeah, because and I think it's a creative use of dialogue too, because it's kind of like um it's kind of like how can we address these issues that we know the fans are going to have? And he was like, "Wait, we'll just make them ask the questions during the run."
We saw John. John sort of felt like it wasn't right what happened to Hal. Like, yeah, he was. He went through a very terrible thing, and he became something terrible. But after sacrificing himself to reignite the sun, he's now forced to walk as the host, or like to be bonded to the Specter for eternity. That doesn't feel right.
Yeah, and I do like how John's the one to point out the martyr, though. Like hey, he did do like he made the ultimate sacrifice, and y'all are still kind of like you being a little iffy on this whole situation. But that's why I like how it didn't sit right with him, because it's like, yeah, everything's all good, but you lost a hero.
Yeah, and Guy seems to be trying to move on from it till like he's not even a Green Lantern anymore. Uh, he's like, yeah, look, what happened to Hal was terrible, and but he was still a good guy, and this is a reality now. Nothing we can do about it. All we can do is move on.
Hmm. But all in all, I about to say I did really enjoy the run. It was good. I'm about to say Geoff Johns does not disappoint, or hasn't disappointed me yet.
Yeah, his I think the art does not get talked about enough in this book. Really, um, everything here is just sort of great. I think this was my first introduction to Ethan Van Sciver's art, and
Very, very good art. Like, because there's several panels there that just like all the emotion speaks from it.
yeah, I love how he plays with scale. Like images of like Hal and Parallax together, like when they try to like pull themselves apart, is like it's scary and it's intense. It's really great.
It also kind of makes me wonder. I wonder how storyboards work in a comic setting, because I wonder if like Jeff is just beside him, like chilling and everything. He's like, no, 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 make him rip his skin off. I don't think you understand what I mean when I say that he's possessed, like a ghost, right? Nah, like a demon. Like
Like you like I want you to realize Hal is the victim here. All right. Like he may have like
uh,
killed a whole bunch of people, but he is the victim here. All right.
and anytime you draw Kilowog, I want you to make it look like he's about to level a small town.
Yeah, like if you didn't know Kilowog, you think he'd be the problem, but he's actually the only one who can provide a good solution. All right.
But you already have me draw Batman like the villain.
No, I had you draw
Figurative.
Batman in shadows.
Yes, the villain. No, the villain. Did you not read the script?
I know that when a lot of them work, they're rarely to. Sometimes they're together, but a lot of them they'll do correspondences. They'll like email each other, talk over the phone. It often depends on like where they are. Like I know at one point Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, and Greg Capullo, I think at one point lived like down the street from each other when they were doing his
Oh,
Batman. So it was like, hey, look, we came by, we talked, or was it John Romita? It was one of those. Like at one point, Scott Snyder lived like really close to one of the artists for his book. And just how it worked out. Like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, better than what I imagined. Cool.
Um, so I think it is fun. It looks scary. It's a very depressing book in some ways. Like the tone is sort of like, yeah, this is we're trying to get back to happy, but it is sad in a way. And to see like what he goes through, like he's more nostalgic now because like even at the airfield he talks about his dad and being a pilot, and the first thing he talks about with Carol is my dad died.
Carol's like, yes, I was there.
Yeah, my father, his golfing trips. We had a whole story about why this was a big deal.
Yeah, you got your whole plane got completely taken apart and then put back together. Yeah,
Yeah.
very purple guy showed up.
It's a thing. Hector, and his like disrespect for my boundaries at the workplace. Um, it was a
But
whole thing. Um, but this was, I think it's a hard thing when you decide to bring a character back from the dead. And you and I, we've gone through anime, we've seen it done. It's really a terrible thing to do to bring someone back from the dead because it takes away stakes.
I about to say, I feel like I've been in the opposite. Yeah, well, actually, no. I feel like the two coincide where I feel like the death of a character can bring so much more, but if you like, it can bring so much more to the story. But if you just like Deus Ex or renege on it and then like bring them back, it feels like you robbed whatever character development was developed through it with that action.
Yeah,
So, if we let's just say Kyle looked up to Hal, like I know it's not his origin, but like looked up to Hal and was made everything about it or about himself living up to that mantle just to have Hal come back. I feel like that would rob them of it.
yeah. And I think like a big problem with when anime does it is everyone's sort of brought back exactly as they are because the death is really just sort of a way to show you like, oh yeah, this person can be killed. But and I think we're all thinking the same thing here. Dragon Ball Z, people die, they come back, and it's pretty par for the course. Like, yeah, I'm back.
Yeah,
Uh,
so hell and heaven are just a rotating door on that anime. Yo.
yeah, and the DC universe is guilty of this to an extent. When people tend to die in the DC universe, they tend to be gone a good while, and it's a big decision to bring them back. Um,
I feel like it's
Dwayne's still
almost,
dead.
I feel like it's almost like paperwork.
Yeah. Um, Hal and Barry had both died, and Geoff Johns brought them both back. I've only read Flash Rebirth once. I might need to revisit that. Um, he like the thing about Hal's death here, or his return, is that it's almost like it didn't need to happen because, like, he's the Specter. We could have made a story of Hal actually becoming the Specter properly, but it's like, no, that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel right.
We need
Uh,
both. We need him back.
yeah, we need him back. We need him as a Green Lantern. That's where he started. That's where he should be. And but the thing is, like, it's not that Hal sacrificed himself to save the day. Hal effectively became a monster.
Yeah,
So Jeff had to like, okay, so how do we make this work? Because we can't just say he got over it. Uh, there has to be some sort of outside force, and I like that they played around with that to expand the mythos, no less.
yeah. I'm about to say, I feel like with the addition of Parallax, they were able to kind of like add a good, like a bit more foundation, I guess I could say, or a bit more decoration, because I feel like Green Lantern already has this foundation, but was able to kind of like give some insight.
Well, what's interesting is that a lot of the foundation we know comes from Geoff Johns. So really, we're just kind of playing in his sandbox still, especially for you and I. We really did come at. Oh, I don't know how I said that. We really did come at this after the fact. So everything we mostly know about Green Lantern comes from a world that Geoff Johns had created. We're just
Okay, so
finally experiencing it for the first time.
yeah, so foundation is the correct word then.
Yeah. So because to think about it, like before, the fear entity wasn't really a thing. Like, Sinestro was just some guy that died. He was not. No, no, man. No, no. I had plans within plans within plans, and a lot of them just involved me messing with Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
um, and being salty at the Guardians. And we'll see later that Sinestro is possibly one of the most complex characters in not just the Green Lantern universe, but possibly in DC Comics as a whole.
Well, I say I would like more backstory on him because he definitely does. He did strike me as an interesting character in Origins or Secret Origins, and I think that you don't just decide to start a police state. So I feel like there's context there that needs to be explored.
I like in later comics to be like, yeah, look, I turned my homeworld into a police state, and looking back on it, that was too far. Okay, I'll be the first to admit it. I'll be the first to admit it. I crossed the line.
Whoops.
Made a slip up. But overall, I would say Green Lantern Rebirth, while it could have used maybe a bit more hand holding.
Just a little for us guys that just that had our own bucket think tank host and that told them to just go read it after Secret Origins.
Yeah, but overall, I would say it's a really good story. And like I said earlier, it does feel like even that little fact that Aquaman has the water hand adds a bit of lived-in feel to the DC universe.
Yeah, I'm about to say, all in all, solid read for me.
All right, so I think that is it. Yeah, we liked it. If you couldn't guess, if you didn't guess that, I'm a bit hurt. Not gonna lie, I'm a bit hurt. But yeah, this was it. This was fun. So next time you'll see us, probably before the end of the year, or probably just at the start of the new year, we'll have something. We'll have another part of this. Exactly what that'll be, we're not sure. We might just be cute and skip straight to Sinestro Cold War, but I think that does a bit of a disservice to the rest of it. So we'll go through a couple and see where we're going to come in next. I'll post it when we decide.
Too easy.
Yeah. So anyway, if you're new to the bug, thank you for like, comment, share, subscribe. If you've made it to the end of this, thank you very much. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. What did you think about Green Lantern Rebirth? Was it a mistake to bring Hal back? Is it brilliant? Is it brilliant? What was your favorite panel? What was your favorite page? You'll see mine for the thumbnail. And I think we already have guest favorite, which was the Oath scene.
Yes, too easy, yo.
All right, so we will catch you all next time. This is Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.